On today's episode of Mainly Games, we're finally back, and we are here ready to talk about Gencon. We are also going to cover a couple of games like Leviathan Wilds, French Quarter, Flock Together, the Aquatica Reef Expansion, and as well as Crossbows and Catapults. And as usual, we're going to talk about a few movies we've seen, even some from the 80s. So let's get started. Okay, everybody, welcome to another episode of Mainly Games.
It's been a while.
It has been a serious while.
I know. And we didn't mean it to be this long.
We did not. The whole time
Yes.
we're thinking, because when we stopped last time, that's when we started working with the Dice Tower.
Correct.
And we still work with the Dice Tower, and it's great. We love it. And we just kept thinking maybe we'll eventually do it. We actually talked with Tom about, doing a podcast with the Dice Tower, doing all that stuff. And we thought, okay, so then projects came up. And during all this, a lot of you guys have emailed us.
Yes.
And said, hey, is this podcast dead? Are you ever doing it again or what? And it's funny because we responded to one guy, and he's like, hey, I'd really like you to start it.
Yeah.
We said, okay, we're going to start it next month.
Yeah.
And
it was right before Christmas, too.
It was.
Yes.
And we're like, yep, January we'll be doing it. And we did not do it.
No. We planned on doing this for a while.
We have. We've been writing notes and all this stuff. And every time we write notes, by the time we go to record, it's like, oh, we need new notes. And we just didn't. But now, you know what?
We're just doing it.
We're doing it. Because also, this is the episode that we love the most, is the Gencon preview episode.
Correct. We also love the Gencon recap, too. So we're going to have to do that, too.
We will definitely have to do that. Which the stack of games might be weird this year because we'll be working with the Dice Tower, so our stack of games will be different.
Correct.
So
it is. Can I just tell you, it's very interesting this year, going through the preview list, going, oh, we've already played that.
Yes. Which is weird. And it sounds like, it's like, oh, look at that. I used to listen to podcasts, and they used to say, oh, we already played that. I'm like, oh, look at you. Look at how the other half lives.
I know, right? I know.
Which now I realize it's not as glamorous as it seems.
Correct.
Because sometimes you're let down earlier.
Yes, that's a good point. Yes.
I kind of wish I had that had hope a bit longer.
I know. Just a few more weeks.
Well, before, because instead, I'm not mentioning games by names, right? But you'll get a game in, and you didn't know it existed.
Yeah.
And then you play it, and you realize this is bad.
Yeah.
Instead, what could happen is I see the post about it, and I'm like, I'm so excited. So I get that 3 to 4 months of, I'm so excited about this game.
I'm going to rush to go get this game.
Yes, and I get in line, I get the rush, I do it, and then I realize it's bad.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm robbed from that happiness right there, right? Now, there are a lot of good games coming
Oh my
out.
goodness. I am very excited about the games at Gen Con.
There really are. So we're going to go into the Gen Con, and we're going to kind of go through there and see what we're looking forward to at Gen Con. And but before we do that, we're going to go into some other games we played recently.
Correct.
And it's been a lot of games we played recently.
Yep.
But we're putting a few on here.
Correct.
But before we go into that, there's other news that for you that follow us on Facebook have probably seen this. But Alex is now, she's still an Australian, but she's actually an American.
I know. I finally got my citizenship.
She finally did. And
I was, for those who know me, I don't like tests.
She does not. She does not test well. She's very smart, but you know people that don't test well?
Yes. I test freak the crap out of me.
I think it's the anxiety.
It's correct. It's from my 12 years at an all-girls school. Anyway, side note.
Yes.
But I hate tests, so I was very nervous.
Right.
So if you talked to me the week before, you barely got a conversation from me because I couldn't really form a sentence. So that was fun. But anyway, it went great. And the ceremony was amazing.
Yep.
And it was worth the wait. A huge group of friends came. That was great.
It was nice. Very emotional. I didn't expect that.
It's so emotional. Yes.
I will say they do this thing during the citizenship thing, right? And they're like, okay, anybody from this country stand up. And it's neat. You see people from like Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, and all that stuff. And like a lot of people stand. And Australia, she is the only person in the entire room that stands. And people are like, why are you here?
I know, right? Like, wait, yes, why are you standing? It was very funny.
Yeah,
yes.
It's like, I don't understand. It was pretty funny to see that, to see her just stand up. So anyway, it was very emotional. It was very good. Now, the test itself, man, she'd ask me questions, and I'm like, I am not a very good American. Because like all these things if she asked me anything about the start of the country, like when was this signed? When was this bill? When was I'm like 1776.
Yeah.
1776. 70 it's like no, 1787. I'm like, "Oh, wow, I guess they kind of worked after that year." You know, I thought it was like that
the
was the year.
Constitution and stuff like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's like, "Oh, I thought we did everything in that one time."
You know what's
that
so funny?
One meeting, we're like, "Here's Constitution, Declaration of Independence, here's all the bills. You know what? And here's the first 6 presidents."
Yeah, wha-bam, all at one time.
We were not that efficient.
I had to remember like how many Congress people there were, and I still now totally forget the number. I think it's 435, but it might be 425.
100 senators, that's all I know.
100 senators.
Got
Congress
that one.
people is
Nailed
so
it.
confusing.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, no, it all went great. So, hooray.
Well, and then, okay, so then when she did that, we like to talk about movies at the beginning of our podcast all the time.
Can I interject for a second?
Yes, go ahead.
It's related, I promise.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I became a student, I went on like a flag kick.
Yes.
Yeah, I just went flag crazy. We still have the flags up at the front of our house.
Yeah. Okay. So she got it at I think beginning of July or whatever into June, and she went seriously flag. When I say flag crazy, we got a flag installed in our front. And
we did.
Then
I did
got
make the handyman come put a flag up. And
like a huge with a light and everything. And then we got like 100 flags
to go around the garden.
Go around the garden and outside in our yard and all this stuff.
Yep.
And somebody's like, "Wow, you're really, decorated for July 4th." I'm like, "Oh yeah, that really." That works out.
I know.
So we didn't look as weird as if she would have had her citizenship like in November.
Correct, or January or
We'd
something.
be like,
that.
people be like, "Wow, it's the
What's
weirdest
happening?"
looking turkeys I've ever seen out there." It's like, we love our American turkey.
It did work out quite well.
It really did. So we don't look as weird as we thought we would.
I know.
I mean, we still do, obviously. We have gravestones in our backyard, but
correct.
It is what it is.
It is. Anyway, those flags are still up. So
yeah, that's more due to laziness than anything else.
Yes, true.
Every time I walk out, I'm like, I gotta get those flags.
I
eventually.
know. They're starting. They were wooden too, wooden stems, and so the rain has kind of made them a little whoopee, like they're a little like lobside. Yeah.
And our lawn guys have hit them.
Oh,
and
so many times. Flags are flying everywhere.
Flags are flying. Yeah,
it's crazy.
They're hitting it with a weed eater. I'm like, is that legal? I don't know what flag goes.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, so she's one to watch like movies on not just American movies, but like classic Americana type stuff, right?
Correct. Yes.
So we went through some of the old things like Sandlot for the first time you watched.
Yes.
That's a great movie.
That was a great. What an endearing, heartwarming movie. My goodness,
it holds up. And
Correct.
the fact that I like her watching these older movies that she missed because she hears these phrases and then she's like, "Oh, that's where that comes from."
Yes.
And from that one, as soon as he goes, "You're killing me, Smalls."
Yes.
She's like,
I said that for years.
Yes.
And I had no idea it came from a movie. I just figured it was just a phrase you say.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. And it was really good.
That's a great movie. Wow.
So anyway, it holds up because I always wonder about those 80s movies that don't hold up.
Yes.
There's a handful of them that I won't watch because I fear that they won't hold up.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, there weren't a lot of special effects, so of course it does hold up. But we watched Miracle.
We did.
Which is about the hockey team.
Yep.
And watch it with our daughter Juliet, and they're both up like clapping their hands and cheering, and they're like, we're gonna do it. I mean, it's just, it gives you the feels.
That was a great movie too. Oh, that was a fantastic movie. The
Yeah.
suspense there, and I think knowing it was a true thing too, like a true event, made it just more special.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I mean, the whole build up
special.
and
Is
all
that a
that.
phrase?
It is more, yeah, it's definitely more special. It's not
Okay.
specialer. Is that what you think?
No, I'm just making sure I said that correctly.
Yes.
I was making sure.
It is.
I was like, okay, hang on.
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't blame things on Australia anymore
No.
because
No.
that's the way they say it in Australia. Doesn't matter anymore.
It doesn't work anymore.
So from there, actually, we went on to watch the Mighty Ducks, which is
We did.
really, we went down a hockey kick there. Even Juliet's like, why are we watching so many hockey movies?
I know, but that's a good one too.
It's good.
That's
It's
a great
good.
one, yeah.
It's really good. It's got we watched the first one, probably the second or third one I heard are good too.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet.
No.
We will.
And then we
Stay
stayed
tuned.
on the American kick and we went to Galaxy Quest.
Yes, random.
And that was the most random because it came up on one of those tickers and it's like people said this is the best sci-fi movie ever. I'm like, what? I remember seeing it as a kid. I'm like, that can't be. I don't remember being that good. I watched it and I'm like, it's good.
Yeah, that was
But
a good.
It also
yes.
had the thing that a lot of these older movies have where you see these people that are stars later.
Yeah.
You know, like, first of all, the guy who plays Hans Gruber.
from Die Hard.
From Die Hard. He's in it.
Yeah, he's the alien character.
He's the alien. He's so good. He has
Yes.
that one character he plays for everything. Sigourney Weaver, of course. You remember her being in it.
Yeah.
And Tim Allen. But then you've got Dwight from The Office.
Yes.
Is one of the aliens.
Yes. You're like, hey, that's Dwight.
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, and
Yeah.
it's just, And anyway, so that holds up. It's a cute
That was a
movie.
great sci-fi. It was just a fun sci-fi movie too. I really liked that one. Yeah.
So again, you know what? If you guys are looking for movies, diving back into those older ones, these hold up. Now, we speaking of not holding up to
Yes.
even current, we watched Descendants 4.
We did. That was a protest by both you and me, but
Yes.
Juliet won that one. So
And
yay.
it was like, if you have the choice of watching Descendants 4 or hitting yourself in the face with a tack hammer. I
definitely go with the latter.
Yes. Tack hammer for sure.
My goodness.
Because, now, I say that because the other Descendants were fine. They were watchable for kids.
Correct.
You know?
They were like that High School Musical kind of thing.
Right.
You know?
And it's like, you know what? As a parent, you don't want to watch it, but you do because you're kids. And this fourth one, it's so brutal. And
You know, because I was trying to talk to Juliet about it because she's like, this is a great movie. And I was like, is it? Like, let's talk about, like, the story was just boring.
it was, and then
You
it kind
know?
of, it's like it
And
leads
so-
up to this big ending, and then it's like you're there, and you're like, wait, what? That was it?
Yes.
It was like the biggest letdown.
Correct.
This big heist happens, then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, we're caught. Back to happiness. Wait, what?
The end of the movie.
And
And you're
then-
like, hang on. I felt like they missed so much and just rushed it.
I agree. And,
Yeah.
And the songs themselves are just, it was, it was rough.
Correct. The songs are not as great. Like the songs from the first one, I think are way better than the three songs. The three movies combined, those songs are way better than this one movie. Oof.
I agree. Now, that being said, our 7-year-old loved it. So, you know what? Maybe we're wrong. We're not, but maybe we're wrong.
Also, we're not 7, but you know.
We're not. Right. Yeah. So if you have kids, maybe they'll like it, but
Yeah.
just, I don't know, put a sleepy mask on or something and go to
Correct.
sleep. Now, we watched Twisters.
We did.
And Twisters, of course, is not the sequel to Twister.
No.
It pretty much has very little to do with Twister. It doesn't even mention it.
I've never seen Twister.
I have, and that's one that I'm worried that does not hold up.
Okay.
Because that leans on the special effects.
Correct.
I may be wrong.
I would like to go back and see that, so maybe we can talk about that at a later date.
Yeah. So anyway, but Twisters is fantastic.
I really enjoyed it. Yeah, my sister-in-law,
Right.
saw it before us, and she said it was really good, right? And so I was a little worried because people compared it to being as good as Top Gun Maverick, and I was like, how do you beat that, right?
Yeah, that's...
So, but I wouldn't say it's Top Gun Maverick, but it's still a great movie.
Exactly. And that's what somebody should not tell us, because Maverick is like
The pinnacle
one
of
of the
great
greatest movies of all time.
Yes,
It was like,
yes.
it was so good. And the Twisters is great. It's because it's exactly what you think it is. They're
Correct.
chasing twisters. They don't do anything. It's just action packed.
Correct.
It's just really good.
It is a great action movie.
Yeah, and that's what it is. And you know what? I think I forgot the guy's name. He was also in Maverick, I believe. But he was pretty sure he was. I don't know. Anyway, I liked him. He was great, and everybody in there was just fantastic.
Yeah,
So that's one. And again, that's one you should see in the theater.
Oh, absolutely. You need to
Some
see
of
it with
these-
all the sounds and lighting and everything, like the big
Right.
screen. You need to see that for
Well,
sure.
we even thought about it because we've discovered a drive-in theater.
Yes, we haven't talked about that.
No,
yes.
well, obviously, because it's our first podcast in 40 years.
Correct.
But we did a drive-in theater, and we're there with these friends, and they're like, "Oh man, seeing Twisters here would be great," and that's why we're like, "Yes!" And our friend Jacob actually went to that drive-in theater.
I know, lucky.
And he watched Twisters.
Did he say it was amazing?
He said it was great.
Yeah,
he
I
said
can
they really,
imagine.
really liked it. And I'm like, and it was a Friday night. We couldn't go with him. We had
No.
shows or something. But otherwise, that's the movie I wanted to see.
That would be a great drive-in movie theater.
Yeah.
Actually, it was funny. The next day after seeing Twisters, I was driving back, or just driving because I drive a lot,
Yeah.
right? And the rain was starting to come, and I'm looking at the clouds, going, "Is this going to be a Twister?" I'm like, "What am I thinking? We live in South Florida, like,
Yeah,
the
that's
chances
true.
are very low." But
They are.
yeah,
They are.
You know. Anyway, I was like, "What is wrong with me?"
Yeah. You're like crossing your fingers. And like, what's the matter with you? But,
The world might be ending if there's one in Florida.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah. Give it time. So anyway, that's a great one to see.
Yes.
So going to see Deadpool soon, and we'll let you know how
I'm
that
excited
is
for that.
and all that. So anyway, that's about some of the movies we've seen. Let us know any other 80s movies that you think really do hold up.
Correct.
Right? Because we love movies.
I am trying to wrangle you into watching the 3 hours of Patton.
She is.
Yep.
And I know I'll like the movie, but I also know it's going to be long.
It's a long
And-
3 hours. Yeah,
and
I started
then-
watching it the other day with your dad, and I only got like an hour, and I'm like, "This is a great movie," but yeah, I want to
She
finish
did, and
it.
then I'm like, okay, did you get to the part about the famous speech? And she's like, yeah, that's at the beginning. I'm like, Oh, there's like more after that?
Yeah.
I thought that was like the pinnacle.
No.
I've seen that big like patent speech.
Yeah, that's how it opens.
Wow.
Do you know, while I was watching it, I was kind of Googling stuff about it, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, one thing I found interesting is the guy that plays Patton, whose name escapes me right now.
Is it George C. Scott? I don't know.
Yeah,
Whoever it is.
yes, I think that sounds familiar, but I'm willing to be wrong. Anyway,
Yeah. We'll say Chris Evans.
He won an Oscar for it, but turned it down.
Why?
Because he was like, how do you judge? He went on this whole thing about Oscars, like, how do you judge
how do
a
you
movie?
judge acting and all that stuff, and-
Anyway, but yeah, he turned down his Oscar for it.
Wow.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, that's how. Then I found out from a different watching Ike that Patton was not a nice guy.
No, he's crazy.
But
You see it with the hour that I watch about it. You see that he's crazy.
Wow. Okay, so yeah, we don't usually go that far back. I think that movie was made in the 20s. Who's like
Maybe 30s.
You know what? Actually, it was 60s because the war.
What were we thinking?
I was kidding. You thought it was.
I was like, it's definitely not the 20s.
This
It's
is
really
like-
the 30s. But then I was like, the war is like 1945. What was I thinking?
This is like,
my bad.
This is by producer Nostradamus, his first movie. And people are like, wow, this couldn't happen.
No. Oh my goodness,
So,
no.
wow, the whole thing was a reenactment.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we will go on to games now.
Let's change the subject.
Oh, let's change it. All right, so some games we played recently. Let's see here. So it's funny doing these games because we are still doing video reviews on the Dice Tower
Correct.
channel. So, which is great. So we get to play a lot of games.
I tell you what, since
we're
you're working for the Dice Tower, the game playing has definitely gone up.
Yes, and it's just
Which is great.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you like playing games, so it works out.
I love playing games.
It works out.
The replaying of games has gone down.
Correct.
You
yeah.
know, like I play games a lot of times with Tom. Every week we kind of do a nightly game night where you hit them out, different games.
Yeah.
And I'll keep games and I'll be like, well, we're going to finish this campaign. He always like, well, good luck. And I've got my hope shelf. Now I have like a shelf of shame and I have a hope shelf, like my Kinfire. It's like, eventually we're going to finish it. And every time I mention it, he's like, maybe. So it's like, okay. And so anyway, all right. So first off is going to be Leviathan Wilds. This one, did you see this game? We play this at Mike's house, I think, right?
Okay.
Okay. So anyway, it's pretty much what it is. You've got giant monsters in this book, this map book,
Yes,
right?
I did see this, yes.
And at first, when I first saw it sitting there, it's like you're killing the monsters. But no, you're helping the monsters. You're trying to remove these crystals from there. But they're such large monsters that you have to then scale them and climb them. So it's kind of like a climbing game because it's got all that stuff. Like you can lose your grip. You have to make sure you're above a ledge. So when you fall on the ledge. You don't want to fall all the way. You don't want to take hits and all this. But if it was just a climbing game, I would not be into it at all.
No. But climbing a monster, you're like, sure.
Yes, for some
Yeah.
reason it's like, oh, I'm climbing a monster. The background could change. It does not matter much at all, right? But the fact that it is a monster is great. And this game, it feels so good because you have that aspect of being able to climb and then you get to glide over and you have that feel of trying to knock off these crystals and save that monster and you have to climb to certain areas and it works co-op great because it always comes down to the end about powering up and getting those abilities to get everything off and the teamwork that it takes. Like, I'm going to get that crystal later. You're like, well, you know what? I can't take the damage it takes to get there. Could you cover that one? I'll go over here. And it's fun. It also plays quick.
Yes.
Because it's in a book, it opens up and then you play that and then you go to the next one.
Now, I walked in and saw you guys playing. It was a book and then there was the dice and cards, right?
That's it.
Genius.
Yeah, and it's like, man, this is a great game. And then you just go to a new scenario, and you can replay them with different asymmetric characters too.
Yeah,
which is really nice. It adds a lot of replayability, and this is a brilliant system. I think it was Kickstarter only. I'm not sure. I'd love to get a copy, but all you do is you come out with a new book with new monsters on it.
Genius. Yeah.
And I mean,
it sounds really interesting. I think I'm gonna have to play this one.
Yeah, it's really good. And again, it's short. I love epic games, right? But the more I play epic games, the more I want to play games that can actually hit the table more.
Yeah.
Right? For every epic game, you can play 2 or 3 of the quicker ones.
Yes.
So anyway, that's Leviathan Wilds. If you haven't played it, take a look at it. It's great. The artwork is great. It mixes climbing with monsters and, it's great. So I really think trying that out in a very short time frame.
Yes.
So now, rolling right wise, you actually got to do the next one. And this is in the line of Fleet, right?
Mm-hmm. Fleet and Three Sisters, and now French Quarter.
French Quarter. And is Motor City in there too?
Oh, it might be. I'm not sure.
I don't know. But yeah,
Yes.
so this is French Quarter.
This is French Quarter, yes.
We played this at Dice Tower East.
I played this at Dice Tower East. Actually, the first time I played it was at the Bash.
You played this twice.
I've played this twice.
Is that why you and Bonnie crushed me?
Correct.
This information was not given to me before I sat down to play with them. And it was like,
Yes.
well, now I feel a lot better because
Yes. Oh, I thought you knew that. I thought, yeah.
It got so bad to where they were scoring, I just erased my entire thing. And I'm usually not petty, but it was,
Yeah.
I was so, because they barely explained the rules to me.
Yeah, we were like, just do this.
And I'm like, okay.
That's right.
Okay,
Yes.
so go ahead. Yeah.
Okay.
Unbelievable.
Well, the first time I played it with Bonnie, there was a full table. I think it plays up to no, it plays 4. I'm sorry.
Right.
We played the full 4, right?
Yep.
Bonnie crushed us all, right?
Yeah.
Second time I played it, I was a little bit behind her.
Right.
But she still crushed me, but not that much, right? Anyway, but this is one of those roll and writes, which you would expect from the same people that have done Three Sisters.
Right.
I have still yet to play Fleet the Dice game. I don't know what's wrong with me.
No,
but something is wrong with me. But it's got the cascading that you would expect in a roll and write, and it's so wonderful. I love. It's set in, the theme is New Orleans, right?
Right.
And there are 2 sheets. There's a sheet that's like an actual map, right, with like houses on it and the streets kind of laid out. You would see my hands right now, and it would make a lot more sense. But anyway, and then the second sheet has like areas, you know, because like in New Orleans you've got like the Bourbon Street area,
right,
and then you've got, I'm trying to think of the other streets, but you've got other streets too, right?
First Street, Second Street.
No, but they're like different areas. I'm gonna pull up a picture of it in a second. But anyway, it it was, so it's got the cascading. So what happens is that there are like 6 cards laid out in the middle.
Yep.
The dice are on the cards. You select a dice, and that card will tell you what number you can write on your house, on your street, on your street sheet, which is your left one.
Street
sheet. And then it also has some symbols that will tell you what you do on your right sheet. Right on the zones, the areas, right? Yep. And then from that, cascading happens, and it's magic. And it's so much fun.
It is. I actually really enjoyed it. It was one of those towards the end. I'm like, okay, I'm getting it. And there's multiple things going on. Like, you're trying to get in the right spot for the parade. And you also get to guide the parade. And it's just, there's a lot going on. Now, that being said, I think I prefer Three Sisters. I think that's my favorite. I like Fleet too, but I like Three Sisters, but I like French Quarter too. And it's almost hard to compare them because they are so different.
They are very different games. You would think, oh, maybe they're similar. No, they are very, very different games. They've got different, it's just, they're very different.
Would you put this over Three Sisters?
No.
No.
But I would put it right underneath it. I would do Three Sisters and this one. Like, it is barely behind Three Sisters.
I think this is more complicated than Three Sisters.
Yeah. Oh, yes, for sure. I would say Three Sisters is the roll and write where someone wants to play a roll and write.
Right.
You would, never played a roll and write before. You would give them this one and give them very good instructions, and they could probably bumble their way through. I think if you don't like roll and writes, this one would not be the game for you. And if you've never played a roll and write, don't introduce people to this one.
Right.
I must admit, at the Bash, Bonnie explained this game to us, right? I had played roll and writes before. The other 2 people at the table had not.
Right.
So they needed a lot of, wait, what? Like, constantly,
Yes.
Like this
agree.
one, you kind of, once you get it. But, like, the cascading's great. You've got to look at, and that determines your scoring. Like I said, there's a lot going to this game, and it's one of those great roll and writes.
I agree. Yeah, so that's one I think definitely take a look at.
Yes.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
You loved it.
I love it.
Yeah. So definitely take a look at that one.
Yes.
All right. So now also up there. Oh, you mentioned the Bash.
Yes.
For you that don't know about the Bash, what the Bash is we do something, because you mentioned it a couple times, we might as well mention it. We do a big game bash here in Fort Myers.
It's local.
It's local for us, but it's kind of grown a bit. So we used to say we're going to do it 2 times a year, then turn to 4 times a year. And now we do it more than 4, pretty much whenever we can. Like, we'll do 1 month apart. But it's just, we've had people from all over the country come to it. And the Dice Tower people come to it. Tom comes every time. It's a Friday and a Saturday. It's all day. And I think it's just like $10 to come. And it's just the big game day.
Yeah.
And I like it because it doesn't even do anything but games.
No.
There are no vendors.
No.
There are no, there's like a flea market to sell your games and things like that because that's wonderful.
Yeah.
But there's so much, it's just about playing games. There are no lectures, no anything. And you have a lot of publishers, a lot of content creators, a lot of people coming, but they just play games.
This is purely just to play games.
This is all kind of for the love of the game.
Yes.
So it's great. And it's coming up in September too. So if you are to the bash.
13th, 14th, right?
Right. Yeah. So, so if you're interested in the bash, let me know. Again, we have show@mainlygames.com is our email address, or actually joey@dicetower.com as well, if you're interested in that. But, okay, so anyway, so now going on to Aquatica.
Yes.
The Coral Reef Expansion.
Yes.
So you had not played Aquatica before. And
No.
I just recently played Aquatica, and I was wondering why I hadn't played Aquatica.
Yeah, me too. I was wondering why I hadn't played Aquatica too. Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, so it's just, I'm actually doing 5 games I wish I'd played sooner on the Dice Tower channel coming up, and that's going to be one of them.
Whoa, spoiler.
Yeah, spoiler, but check out the video to see the other 4, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey.
But again, it's one of those I hadn't played, but the Reef expansion, Aquatica, for you that know, it's like you're building an underwater kingdom, and it's got kind of, you build this tableau, and the cards give you actions as you slide them up. And what's great is those actions then cascade and allow you to slide up other cards and eventually score those cards. But the Reef expansion, I haven't played Cold Water, but the Reef expansion, it adds a couple of things. One, it adds these new mantas that are based on turn order. So it kind of balances out. A lot of games have mitigation to where if you go first, second, third, fourth, you get different types of resources. That's kind of what this does, like new mantas you add to it. But then the reefs are a big part of the expansion. And those, when you can buy someone out there, then they also give you a reef to put on a slot, and that gives an ability to that slot. Like, for instance, it may give you more coral, or it lets you score a card right away as it slides up. So it adds those little things that don't overcomplicate the game.
No. I definitely still felt like I had never played just Aquatica. I played Coral Reef.
Right, you played the first time with the Reef expansion.
Correct. And I still felt like it was a very simple game.
Yep, exactly. It's very manageable.
But not simple because, like, simple, but there's still so much strategy to this game.
There really is.
Yeah.
And then you've got the coral that's kind of, the little pieces of coral that you see, and those could be seated on locations. And as those locations go all the way up and score, then those will be put over and are points at the end of the game.
Yes.
And they can also activate different reefs and have different abilities there, but mainly they're points at the end of the game.
Yeah.
So this is a great expansion. I love it.
Yeah.
And there's also new starting cards. And this is what an expansion should be. It's not game changing. It's more of what you love in the game.
Absolutely. They did a great job at this with this expansion. Just definitely making it an easy to play. Sometimes I feel like expansions overcomplicate a game and almost ruin the game.
I agree.
Why this didn't do it at all. It made the game still a great game.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, that's Aquatica, the Reef expansion. Now we're going to go to another game that's delivering now, and this is Flock Together by CCAL Games.
Yes.
Flock Together is one that it's been everywhere. This booth has been everywhere. We were at East. They were at East. They're going to be at Gencon. It's by I think CCAL Games.
Yes.
But this is a pretty much what the whole thing is. You're a chicken and you're battling invading predators.
Yes, that's it.
And it's a co-op game, and it's got Andrew Bosley artwork, which the artwork, of course, is going to go. You're going to say, "Wow, it's incredible!" Right? So that's the first thing that draws you in. The artwork and the components are what's going to pull you in, but the gameplay kind of keeps you there.
That's yes, fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's just and this is just a retail. I say retail in air quotes because everything is deluxe in this.
Yeah, the production of this game is exquisite.
And that's the thing. When you sit there and play it, you're like, wow. Yeah. But now the gameplay, it's, I think, that perfect co-op because it's hard, right?
Yeah, when I played it, I was like, this is a really meaty co-op.
Yes.
Sometimes you're looking for a co-op that is, just a little bit thinky.
Right.
And this is the game for you.
It is, and it's not like so Ghost Stories brutally, you will never win, right?
No.
This one you have to think it out, and the fact that all these characters, number one, are very asymmetric, and they have great names like Annie Yoakley and Cluckleberry Finn, all this. But not only are the characters asymmetric, you have to play into their strengths.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's what I like about a game. When you get these asymmetric characters, you don't just care about them on the surface about what you get, but you have to play into what makes that character good.
Yes.
Like as far as the leveling up and all that stuff. And you have to play as a team that's put together for those characters. So that's why I really enjoy this game too.
I do too. And I also feel like it's one of those co-ops that's not really long too.
No, it's not.
I feel like the timing of it is what it says on the game box, and it's great.
Right, and it's very simple too, because there's 8 actions you can take. I think there's like 8, but then you get to choose which 2 you want.
Yes,
and it's very simple, so the games can be very snappy.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what to do. You move around. So I really, really enjoyed this game.
Me too. I really enjoy this game. I'm excited to bring it back. I haven't played it in a while. I want to get back to this game because I think it's a really great co-op.
Yeah, I think it's delivering now on Kickstarter. I think it is. I think it is available on retail.
Yes,
I think you can get it now. I don't know how many they have available retail, but yeah, I think it's great, and it will be one of those at Gen Con, which is why we're bringing it up now, because they will be kind of having retail copies at Gen Con.
Yeah.
So if you haven't, I know people love Andrew Bosley artwork due to like Everdell and things like that.
Yeah.
This is classic Bosley with a great co-op twist. I really like this. And the little books that you have for the Predators and the way everything scales difficulty wise.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
This is
like I said, it's a really meaty co-op.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And it's great. And it looks great on the table too.
Yes.
So this is one definitely to check out. So that's flocked together. And finally, another Kickstarter that just launched from Restoration Games. This is Crossbows and Catapults.
Yes.
This one's a silly kind of... We have Catapult Kingdoms, I think is what it's called, right? And, okay, I'm going to go into the first differences. Crossbows and Catapults, I like that it's just pretty much one box, maybe 2 if you get like the added stuff for bigger castles, right? And that's it. It's like, okay, that's manageable. Catapult Kingdoms, I think I have 12 boxes.
I was like, those boxes had to come off our shelves because they were taking up valuable space. And I was like, so they're just stuck in a corner right now because I'm like, there's so many boxes.
It's got so much stuff. I had to go through and decide what I'm going to keep and what is just fluff, right? But it's just, and I thought, do I need this Crossbows and Catapults? Because I love Catapult Kingdoms. But Crossbows and Catapults... First off, the crossbow I was excited to do. You kind of put the chip in it. They look like little chips that you're launching.
Yep.
And then you squeeze it, and it just like slides across the mat, and it's kind of like non-eventful. It's like, oh, that's it? Okay. But it's very useful sometimes when you have everybody stacked up and you can kind of mow them down, right? But now, the catapult, okay. That right there, it doesn't use the rubber band like the old one used to. It uses springs and some engineering thing that people smarter than me did. And we're playing with people, and what's funny is you will crank it back, and the people next to the castle always kind of hold their hands up over their face. They're like, oh, is this going to be it? And you kind of dial, so you kind of get to aim, and it's a lot of fun. And what makes this fun is what's any game like this. You build the castle first, and you're kind of knocking it down. The whole thing is you have to free your prisoner, and you have to knock down their general and take out their castle, right? And if it's not attached to the castle, like if you can break off a section, that entire section is gone. So you're going to try to build it the way you can keep it up the longest. But when you get it knocked down, and it's funny how direct hits, like you will have a direct hit so many times. You'll have a direct hit, and then nothing happens.
Yep.
And you're like, that was like as good as I can get. And then you might have an indirect hit, and then pieces fall off everywhere. Like on the other side of the table, you're like, you weren't even near this. Why did you go? And it's just, it makes some really, really great moments.
Yeah.
And on top of that, I really do the catapult. They have like a ballista or whatever that is just like really powerful. I think this is like if you ever build the castle behind the refrigerator in your neighbor's house, you're going to use this one, right?
Okay,
it's like one of those you just really crank.
Wow.
But so. This game, it's a lot of fun. I guess it's based on a game from the 80s that I never played for some reason.
Okay.
It was probably too expensive. They bought me Hero Quest, and they said, you're good for 10 years. But, so this one's one to check out if you like Catapult Kingdoms. This is Crossbows and Catapults. And again, in Restoration, I think the retail is probably very similar, if not the same thing as a Kickstarter.
Okay.
But this I really enjoyed. Then there's one. There's one that they have different. One thing I got to mention, too, is Catapult Kingdoms, every time we play it, we tend to not even really care about the cards much, right? We're just knocking down the castles.
Okay.
This one, the cards were fun. You get to move the way you move your little minions or whatever, and the cards are great. And there are different things like the boomerang. I think you get to shoot that. If it falls face up, you get to shoot it again.
And I also saw you guys playing with it looked like a slingshot on the table. It wasn't like a catapult.
That was the crossbow.
Oh, crossbow. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. And there was a bigger one to that too. But this one, yeah. So there's different abilities like that really work. So the cards on this, I can see how the game exists here.
Yes.
So it's very gamery. That's not a word. But yeah. So anyway, that's crossbows and catapults. Almost said that wrong. Ooh. All right, so now let's roll right into Gencon.
Let's talk about Gencon.
Gencon. Now, we will be at Gencon. We will be both kind of tag teaming it at the Dice Tower booth.
Yes.
We will be there, so come by, shake our hands, and say hello, and all that fun stuff. And the entire
I'm excited
team will be there.
Dice Tower booth this year, it has a bigger booth than what it's had in the past, so it's going to be nice.
Yes, we do have a bigger booth. We'll be playing games there. There'll be
I really like that.
Wow. Which is really nice.
You've been playing games at Gencon?
You know what? That's funny. You mentioned that. It's like I never play games at Gencon. Gencon I go to for the atmosphere, I guess. Yeah. I play a few games sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes at night we play a few, but we
do shorter.
Yeah, short games. Yeah,
we might play a couple of rounds of demoing something or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah, Gencon you don't really go to play the game. Some people do, and I respect those people. All right, first we're going to go over a couple of things that we're looking forward to Gencon. Kind of glance through the program booklet. But game-wise, looking forward to a Gencon, there are a lot.
Oh, I have a huge list.
There are. And again, so we'll go through them very quickly. One is, now, Arcs is the big thing. Now, Arcs, a lot of people have played at the studio. I have not. Eventually, this is on my list to play.
Yeah.
So Arcs is what I'm looking forward to.
I have Green Team Wins, the holiday party one.
Yeah, that's fun because anything more for Green Team Wins, I'm excited about.
That's a great game. I like it.
Windmill Valley. I've played that. It's really good. I'm excited for that to get out in the wild. And that's by Board and Dice. And also Cities. I've played that. And have you played that too?
No.
It's a very simple, light game by Devere.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoy that one as well.
I'm looking forward to Jekyll and Hyde versus Scotland Yard.
Yep.
That is by 20th Century Games.
Yep. And that looks good. Now, another thing is the Comic Hunters is finally coming to the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I think Spin Master is the one that's actually doing that. And that price point is like, I thought it was like a misprint. It's $25.
Yeah.
This game is set collection with comic collection, really, with the comic book kind of, I don't know, artwork, the covers and things. But the way these work, like the little puzzle style, slide puzzle, the drafting in this is really, really good. And finally, it's getting a print here in the United States. Yeah. So I'm excited about that.
I know it. It's about time it came here, so that's exciting. I'm looking forward to looking at, I'm not sure how I feel about this, but I want to look at it. Happy Home. It's by Alley Cat Game. It is polyomino pieces to decorate your home.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apparently it's already out. That's what it says.
I want to try that one
but
too.
I want to have a look at that one. I'm interested in that one. It's kind of got my curiosity. So that will be good to see.
I'd be good. And now, Undaunted 2200.
Yes.
I'm excited to see that because the Undaunted series, a lot of people don't like war games based on history.
Yeah.
So this takes it to where it's in this futuristic battle type thing. So you still have the same kind of mechanics that Undaunted's known for.
Yeah.
But you have this fictional space, like this space battle.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see what happens there. And I think that is actually for sale there, which I'm pretty excited to see that. So, and then another one, Clank Catacombs expansion.
Yes, I had that on my list too.
Oh,
that's going to be awesome.
Layers and Legends or something. Clank Catacombs. Like Clank, of course, was my number one game of all time, the Clank Legacy. So the fact they're leaning into Catacombs is incredible.
Yeah, I'm glad they're doing that.
I'm so excited about that.
Yeah.
So that will be like an instant gimme.
Are you going to run to that one?
I am going to run to that.
Okay, I like it.
Because that's from Direwolf, and I need that in my life. So, and now Clank, I'm not like everyone else where I'm only Catacombs, right?
Yeah.
I like the original Clank. I still like it, and I like Clank in Space. The Underwater Clank was fine, but Catacombs, I think, is where it's at for me.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to Video Game Champion by Arcade Wonders. That one's going to be good. I think I'm going to have to run for this one, though.
I agree, and that is, I always say that, because that one came from, I think, Brazil, and I think same with Comic Hunters. And it was one of those that I felt weird when I promoted it before and nobody ever played it.
Yeah.
You feel like you're that guy like, oh, look at me, I played this.
Yeah.
But now you can actually say, this is great.
Yeah.
This one, you're pretty much a kid and you're trying to get the best score in a video game.
Yeah.
And to get these video games, you need to buy them or rent them, and then you can get money from your parents by doing chores, all that. It's just a really, really fun thematic game.
You've played this one?
I have, yes.
Yeah.
I love it. And the artwork on this is, if it's the
Great.
same artwork,
Yeah.
the artwork is great. Unlike Comic Hunters, which actually is they're based on real comics, this one has more like kind of parody artwork of Nintendo games.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
Because you can see every one of these covers and you're like, oh, this could be this game.
Yeah.
And they're not direct like they're not called like Donkey King or whatever, but it's something where you can kind of look and say, oh, I would play this game.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they did a great job kind of pinpointing that.
I'm also looking forward to playing. This looks fun. I'm going to just look at this game. But I heart manatees.
Yes.
Yeah, build your habitat and save the manatees. I feel like that's appropriate in Florida. I'm curious
agree.
about this. I want to check this one out, have a look, see what it's like.
Yes.
If it looks good, I might snag it. But yeah.
Thought of that. I thought of Matt Mundy from Sea Cow Games
Yes.
on this too. I'm like, hey, he loves manatees.
I know, right?
Yeah. So it's like
Yes.
maybe he's gonna play this.
I know.
So I'm excited about. Also from Arcane Wonders, Foundations of Metropolis, which is the exact same thing as Foundations of Rome.
Yes.
But it's an approachable kind of retail price game or box, So it is pretty much the exact same game.
Yeah.
But it's manageable.
Yes.
Right?
I heard it still has the trays and everything, so it's easy
does.
set up. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really nice. I'm looking forward to Doomcat by Charming Games Collective. It's a roll dice draw, and you're building things, and it looks really fun.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. And then there's a Forest Shuffle Alpine expansion. Looking forward to. I've played that, and that's just more cards for Forest Shuffle, which again is all you need.
That's all you need. I know. I'm excited for that one too.
Yeah, and there are games like Slay the Spire that are finally going to get like a lot of people that are going to want to get those there.
Yes.
And the Mandalorian, the Adventures, Mandalorian
Yes,
Adventures.
that's going to be a good one too.
That one, I'm excited. People at the office have played it. I know Tom, I think Z and Roy have played it. I have not, so I'm pretty excited to give that a try.
I want to try Spectacular 2 by Chill Fox Games.
Yes.
Yeah, that one looks pretty good. I'm excited to look at that one.
I agree. And then there's Cafe Barras, which is like it's like you're building a cafe for coffee for animals, which I want to give coffee to animals. That is my goal in life. Is not really, but it sounds very.
It does sound really fun though.
Yes.
Wow. I also want to try Autumn by Devere too.
I agree. That looks really, really good.
Devere's killing it right now. They're doing a fantastic job.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then Box Top Pinball Haunted House.
Yes.
It's unlike those roll and write pinballs. This you actually make a pinball.
Is that demo or is that for sale?
I think it's for sale.
Oh yes. If it's for sale, I'm there.
This could let me down. It may not be great, but you know what? I'm excited to try.
Willing to give it a try. I'm also wanting the Cascadia Flippin' Rights. There's two of them, I believe.
I did not see those.
Yeah. Cascadia Rolling Rivers and Cascadia Rolling Hills. I really want to try both of those. They will probably be a first hour buy. Unless they're giving them out at Big Game Night, then we'll wait. But
and you are doing AEG Big Game Night.
I am indeed.
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree. Now, another one is Finders Creepers. I'm excited for that to hit retail.
Yeah.
That's one we discovered 2 or 3 years ago at Gen Con. It was called Haunt the House.
It was.
And they did not, I guess they didn't, I don't think they didn't fund or they pulled their crowdfunding.
They kickstarted,
but it's really good. It uses
That's a fantastic
augmented
game.
reality with the phone, and they had a booth at East.
I was going to no, they West.
West. Yes, you're right.
Dice Tower West. Yeah, it was great to finally see that game here.
Oh,
I was like, yes. I think Juliet, I'd rather play that game a lot.
Yeah, you both played it, and then I played it with Jason Levine. We were over there playing it.
Yes.
And it's great for adults. It's like a memory game where these monsters pop up in different rooms of the house, and because you're looking at your phone, and then they walk around on the board, which is, first of all, technology still blows my mind.
Yeah.
And then they kind of sink back in. And you have to remember where they are and take the stuff over there to get them. And the price point on this is like, I don't know, $20, $25.
I don't know how they're making money.
No, I don't.
It's crazy.
I even told them, like, you need to charge more for this. Luckily, they did not listen to me. I mean, you guys are like, thank you for that. But it's crazy. Oh, but you can also now, it's going to be at Gen Con, but it's also, I think, at Target.
Yeah.
So you can get it at Target, Amazon now. I think it's available now, which is nice. They kind of did like this splash release.
Yeah, that's really nice.
So this is one to check out, especially if you have a family, and if not, it's really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason and I had a blast doing this.
Yes. I'm also looking forward to the new Calico game, Knitting Circle.
Yes.
Yeah, that one looks good. I'm excited to try that one.
You like You like that, don't you?
I like Calico, yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, cats. I'm allergic to cats, unfortunately. So
right, but you like the idea.
I do. I love the idea of it. But I know I really did like Calico, so I'm excited to try Knitting Circle too. That's my flat out games.
Now, there's another one. This is demo only by WizKids, but this is Star Trek Captain's Chair. Mm-hmm. So that's demo only. I'm excited to take a look at that. Anything Star Trek, I'm willing to give it a try. I've been let down a lot.
I also want to look at the new Ghost Fighting Treasure Hunter Anniversary Edition.
I do too.
I'm just curious to see, is it different? I really enjoy that game, so I'm curious to see that one.
It's one of those games that we've had for a while, and then I didn't realize it was going for that much on eBay.
Yeah.
Because it's just not printed.
No.
But it's been reprinted.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm excited because it's a great game for kids.
I'm on my America kick still because I found 10 Days in the USA by The Op. So I want to look at that one. I will probably just end up buying that one because, like I said, I'm on my America kick right now. So yeah, that one looks pretty good.
That looks very cute. And then DC Super Skill Pinball. I love Super Skill Pinball. I pretty much would buy every table they have.
Yeah, that's
because
an instant buy.
It's just they're fun, and they have now the IPDC. I'm like, this is great. Yeah, try that.
I also want to try the Chronicles of Light Darkness. It's by Ravensburger. It is a new Disney game, and you're either Belle, Moana, and I don't remember the other two. I just know Belle and Moana, which is how it got my attention. And you're playing those characters, and I believe it's a little bit of Legacy, but not. It doesn't have to be. I believe, but it does look really good. I'm excited to try that. I actually have an event signed up where I'm going to play this.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I guess I'll watch Juliet during that.
And you can come on my booth shift.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
Details.
All right. Hopefully Tom's not listening.
Hopefully.
All right. Then Radlands, Cult of Chrome, the expansion to Radlands.
Yes.
Yeah, so I'm excited. I love Radlands. That's a great one.
I'm also excited to look at Redwood 2.
Redwood as well? Or
Redwood as well, not 2.
Yeah.
Yes. Last year I think it was demo. This year I think it's for sale. I'm not sure, but it's still listed on. I know it was a last year game. I'm interested. The theme kind of got me with the photography.
I know. I've never played that. I've seen it come through. I think it came through the office. I don't know if it stayed or not, but I'm excited to see that one.
I just want to look at that one and see that one. I also have Boop the Halls. I do love Boop.
I like Boop. I like the little things they add to it.
Yeah.
Also,
I'm evidently on a cat theme.
Apparently.
What is wrong with me?
For someone allergic to cats, you love the idea of them.
I know. I do.
Yeah. I guess if I had never held a cat, I would love the idea of cats more. Because you're so cuddly. They look so sweet. I'm like, don't they look sweet? They will claw your face off.
Yes, true.
You know? So,
yes.
All right. Another one is Scoville, the second edition. I never played the first edition of Scoville. It's like about raising hot peppers or whatever.
Yeah.
So I love the idea of that one.
Yep. I also had This Game is Killer by Smirk and Dagger. That one looks really great.
Here's the thing. I mentioned that on because we did like a little Dice Tower thing, preview thing, right? I mentioned this thing is Killer, right? Which looks like an alien social deduction is what they call it, right? And at 10 minutes, it plays in like 10 minutes. But Dana, actually, a friend of ours, listened to the Dice Tower thing, and then he is like, hey, I read the manual on this, and it's social deduction, but the alien, I guess the way it sounds is the alien is not a person but an NPC.
Really?
So I'm even more curious. I'm like, well, hold on.
What?
Because it's social deduction, but you're still trying to deduce where it is. So it's funny. If this was like a 2-hour game, I'd be less interested.
Yeah.
But it's 10 minutes. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I would do this. And this is one that you could play a couple times into the night, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm excited. It's like alien themed.
Yeah.
Off-brand alien themed.
Also, Rolling Realms Redux. I think I said that right. That one looks pretty good.
You love Rolling Realms.
I love Rolling Realms.
Yes, you do.
So I want to try that one too.
Yep, I agree. And
actually, I probably won't try it. I'll just probably buy it.
You probably will. Yeah.
Yes.
And then other ones like Stone Spawn Architects, I've already played. Great. I want to do Mistwinds. And it's very pick up and deliver with like, I don't really know. It's flying whales. I don't know what's happening there, but I haven't done the research into it.
But you're like, it's flying whales.
It's flying whales. Probably not even whales. Probably like orca, or I'm not saying it right. But it's a huge box. Because I saw it did just come to the office yesterday.
Wow.
I didn't look at the components, but it is a whale-sized box.
Wow.
I think it's like the size of a whale.
Wow.
It's not true, probably.
I hope not, because that would be like your entire house.
Yeah, there's a small whale.
Oh, okay.
Baby
Dolphin?
whale. That's not a whale. But,
okay.
Yeah.
City of the Living by Trick or Treat Studios.
Yes, I played that one. That one's interesting. Trick or Treat is, again, and Trick or Treat's one doing Scoville.
Yes, I know.
You know, and City of the Living, is that Reiner Knizia or
It
something?
is. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's like based on something else. It's I like that one. Again, zombies, you love your zombies.
I do like my zombies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had Scoville and yep. Okay.
Yeah, so that's like there's a lot to look forward to. Now also besides that, there's Invincible, by the way. Invincible is going to be there, and that is one that, hey, you know what? Just go pick it up. It is incredible. I think I gave it 9.5 and I think it would go up from there. I love that. Now, all right, so there's other stuff looking forward to at Gen Con.
Yes.
Dice Tower Awards. Alex and I will be presenting at Dice Tower Awards.
We will be indeed. It will be fun.
And if you don't have a ticket because it's sold out pretty quick, there are seats available. Just bring a couple of generics.
I think I heard Tom say 2 generics get you in.
Yes. I'm not sure. Yeah, maybe one. I don't know how many generics.
Know.
But yeah, generics will get in. There are seats available because I think they sold 600. There's room for like 800 to 1,000. We have tables. But we will have... So he's pretty much letting anyone in with generics.
Okay, nice.
So even if you don't have a ticket, come
Just
on
come.
in because it's great. We have some really fun stuff planned for that. But also... one thing I like to do is we love the food trucks there.
Yes.
The food trucks are great. And they announce their pizzas every year, which I think you and I are the only ones that are excited to see the pizzas.
Oh, I love, because I love the pizzas there.
They do, sometimes people like, they look nasty. And you know what? They do, but we try them anyway. This is Critical Chip is their official pizza of Gen Con. It is salsa verde, fiesta corn with beans, mozzarella, jalapenos, ranch drizzle, and wait for it, crushed Doritos.
Sold.
Yes. And I think I'm probably the only person that is this excited about it.
I think it's going to be fun to try.
It is.
Yeah, I like the name of it.
I like that too. And now, one thing I realized, Wild Bill's has always that refillable soda thing.
Yes.
If you bring your soda, you can refill it.
Bring your cup.
Your cup. Sorry. If you bring your cup, you can refill it.
Yes.
You pay something.
Yeah.
Every year we forget to bring it.
We need to remember. I need to put that on my to-pack list.
Yes. This year I'm bringing it.
I was just going through the Gen Con program that's online, and I noticed that Van Ryder Games also has Gateway Island, which I'm really excited about that one, too. I heard it being explained, just how it's lots of mini games that each have a different mechanic.
Right.
And I really like that. I love introducing people to board games, but sometimes it's hard to find out what they're going to like, you know?
I agree.
And so I feel like this would be a good way to kind of figure it out and get people kind of into the board gaming world.
Yeah, I think it's great.
I think that's a genius idea. So I really like that. I will go by that.
Yeah, I think Julie mentioned that on the
Dice Tower podcast. That's how I heard it.
Yeah, and it sounds very, very interesting. Oh, another game I did not mention is Things in Rings. Have you played that yet?
No, I have not.
Oh, you need to play that. That's all play, and it's really fun.
I'm looking forward to the parade that they do every year.
I love the cosplay parade.
I love the cosplay parade. I just really like what they do.
Yep.
Every year, Juliet's like, I want to be in that parade. And then when she's like, hey, but I like to look at it. And I'm like, well, you can't do both. So, but no, it's just it's just a fun time just to see people's different cosplays.
The time people take in there. Now, okay, for you that are going to Gen Con and the biggest, everybody asks big tips on doing it. Number one, don't overplan.
No.
Be spontaneous. There's a lot of stuff going on. Go through the side halls, these little rooms, even in the hotels.
The hotels do a great job. Like, Gen Con continues from the convention center. It goes to the hotels,
It doesn't stop.
Yeah,
it's everywhere. And all these, like, we discovered the rooms up there, like, I think CGE always has a huge room up there. Everybody has rooms that you go in, you get to see, and you get more one-on-one than the craziness in the exhibit hall.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And every room, like a lot of rooms have different things going on, so that's why you grab generics. So you can like, kind of pop into something if you happen to have the time. And there's game being played in the hallway. There's a paint and take. There's
Lucas Oil that has...
Lucas Oil is
which is amazing.
It's just great.
Yeah.
And True Dungeon's there. Just walk around and enjoy the atmosphere, the feel of it, soak it all in.
That's one of my favorite things to do kind of after the exhibit hall closes is just walk around.
That's it.
I like to do that in the evenings. It's great.
Yeah, we used to get there like a day or two early just to walk around the convention center and see people set up. It's a great feeling of the convention.
Yeah, I agree.
So a lot of going, and then the D&D, the book this year. I don't know if you got to the end of it or not. It kind of goes in. This is, I think, the 50th anniversary of D&D or something.
I did not realize that. Yes, they've got lots of stuff for D&D,
and they have in the back of the program booklet everything about like 1974 from 75 and all these kind of programs from further back at the beginning of D&D and the beginning of Gen Con, really.
Yeah.
So it's pretty incredible to see that history
Yeah.
and it's just like, wow, that's impressive what D&D has become, because it is getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Oh, for sure.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. There's no doubt about it. Yeah.
So we both love board games. We also love RPGs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you and I we play D&D with a group here. Our daughter loves it.
Yep.
So I really enjoy that. So that's something. And they have nice panels this year of a lot of D&D kind of guests.
Yes.
Like they have Luke Gygax, which is the son of Gary Gygax, who kind of created D&D.
Yeah.
He's going to be there.
Yep.
So there's so much going on at Gen Con. But again, if you're there, come by and see us. We're going to be at the Dice Tower booth. Pretty much one of us will be there at all times.
Correct.
So it's booth 331. We're going to be there most of the time.
Yeah, come find us.
One of us.
So
definitely see us and say hi. But
yeah.
This has been great. I'm
glad we're back.
We are back. Not sure how much, and it's funny how we're doing it now. We're back to doing it hopefully regularly, and I missed doing it, right?
Yes.
I missed talking about
games. It has been the
games.
plan to do this for a while.
Yes.
So
because we just talk on these,
Yeah.
And you guys have been great reaching out saying, when are you going to do it again?
I know we do appreciate those emails.
And it's funny how it's Mainly Games isn't something we advertise.
No.
It's something that people just find out about.
Discover by themselves.
And gamers are such a small, close-knit community that the amount of people that find out just by word of mouth is really
There
nice.
was someone last year at Gen Con that came up to the booth who'd be like, I love Mainly Games. I wish I had got their name, so if you're listening to that person, and hopefully you're at Gen Con this year, come by, because it was me at the booth. So, you went there at that time. They came up, and I was like, oh, thank you. So that was pretty awesome.
It's really
I hope
neat
they
to
come
hear
up
that.
again.
I agree. So, So, anyway, that is it.
Yep.
Woo, that is a long episode. Probably not all will be this long,
No.
but we will hopefully continue this.
Yeah, hope to see you all soon.
Yes, and let us know. Again, you can email us at show@mainlygames.com, and I can be also joy@dicetower.com. So shoot us an email. Let us know what you're looking forward to at Gen Con, and we'd love to see you there. Swing by the booth, because I'm driving up Sunday.
I know. I'm flying up Tuesday.
Yes.
Whoa.
So, yes, I'm in the Dice Tower van.
Yes.
With Tom and Chris and now Jason.
Yes.
So
awesome.
Woo. Oh, and then I'll be in Atlanta at Level Up Games on Monday night.
That's going to be awesome.
To play games. So if you guys are near the Atlanta area, Level Up will be there, I think, starting at 2 or 3, playing
awesome.
some games and stuff.
That'd be fun.
So, okay, awesome. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
And we'll see you soon.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.